there's one piece of advice, whether business, personal, love, philanthropy, religion, whatever it might be, but with the one piece of advice we'd give our listeners.
Communicate freely and authentically. And don't let AI make you lazy or, replace communication, because I think that's a trap.
Hey everyone, are you ready to be fired up? Because I have Joe Fier here. He's got some French in him. What does it mean, Joe?
Proud.
It means proud. So
I'm rebranding right now.
Yeah, he's rebranding. It's his first podcast where he's actually rebranding his name. So if you are interested at all in AI, we have got Joe Fier here. And by the way, he has an awesome podcast himself with tons and tons of listeners. He's the co-host of Hustle and Flowchart podcast. So we'll make sure we mention that again so you can go talk to that. But he's interviewed hundreds of entrepreneurs on this podcast, and they share actionable strategies and inspiring stories to actually help you grow your business. And right now, he is highly involved in something called mind cloning. I actually have hired Joe and his team, and I am so stoked about it. It's actually creating revenue in my business. It's supporting my students, and he's making me look like a complete rock star. So right now, we're going to be talking to you all about digital AI smart clones, how to engage your audience, how to stand out as the authority in your market, how to create more content, and so much more. So Joe, tell us a little bit more about what you're known for and what you're built for. You've got such of a huge, a large audience. I know you're most known for your ability to simplify complex tasks and your marketing expertise and strategies utilizing AI. Anything else that I've missed?
You nailed it pretty well, Krista.
You have such a long list of things,
Yeah, I'm like, there's a lot, and I don't remember half of it. But over 15 years doing digital marketing, always in media. Started off blogging, then video, podcasting for like 10 years on multiple things. Yeah, Hustle and Flowchart, my current show, has been like 8 years long. 700. It's just so fun I love podcasts because you can connect with people. So I'm a people guy. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But I come with it with this collaboration in people. I'm all about that. And now with this new media, AI cloning or digital twins, I don't even know what the label is yet. It's still so early. It's a new form of media. So I think of digital marketing with media. So it's like, what's the journey that we could take people on? And that's what I'm doing now with cloning, with AI stuff. Yeah.
And I have to tell everyone, so when I met Joe at a mastermind and they were interviewing him, and of course I threw my credit card at him so fast.
Literally.
And I'll tell you what, people in the room were like, oh my gosh, they were starstruck. And I didn't even know who Joe was, but now of course I do. And he's just been amazing. But people were like, oh my God, they felt like, there's this star they'd been known forever had walked into the room. So he's a big deal. My point is Joe's a big deal. Okay, so Joe, so what are AI clones?
Yeah, so this is a concept that I think is not foreign, it's just new. So it's probably been around for, AI has been around for actually quite some time. It's just popular now. And 3 years ago, I found this platform called Delphi. So that's the platform. It's almost like, if you think of like YouTube, that's a platform, but there's specialty ways to use this. It's complicated if you're trying to do it all yourself.
Yes.
So that's where I specialize in, is on the strategy and building these things out. But AI cloning, digital twin, is basically the idea of, we're all using ChatGPT now. If you're not, start using it.
Yeah, you should be.
If you have a custom GPT, or even just use it, just know that that's like got all of the world's knowledge in that box, and it's good and bad. It's great for research and all that. But if you're trying to use it as a business, like a custom GPT, which a lot of people are starting to do, it's still prone to hallucinating, which is like pulling in information from other people and pulling it into your thing, which is not cool.
And making stuff up too. So it not only hallucinates, it like makes stuff up. So
totally. Yeah.
We have to understand, everyone, about language learning models. So a language learning model is ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, any one of those knowledge bases. Mm-hmm. And people can put information on the web, and these language learning models pulls it from everywhere. So somebody could say something inaccurate. So we could say something like, Joe Fieri is 7'5" tall, and then it could then say that about Joe, right? So you have to be really careful about what the information you're getting from these language learning models is, because they're not always true. Whereas the difference between what Joe is doing with AI mind coding a digital twin is it's all 100% your proprietary information, your words that they've taken from books, podcasts, training sessions, recordings of yourself, anything. And so it only is giving information that is really truly from you.
That's right.
Correct?
Totally. Yes,
Okay.
you nailed it. You're great. You
Okay.
learn fast. So, yeah, the idea is so cloning. This is another misconception. Is like people might have seen video cloning through Heijin or Synthesia, where it's video and you're like, wow, that looks lifelike. Well, yeah, that's great, but that's a scripted clone. So those things are basically made beforehand and then posted somewhere online or whatever. What we're doing here with this Delphi platform, again, that's the platform and that we use, and I'll tell you the story there. It's kind of cool. I've been involved. I was the first user almost 3 years ago, so I've seen it walk up, and I've helped kind of develop it, and we build a ton. It's
And
not
you've actually
scripted.
built more than the actual Delphi company. So you have actually created more of these Delphi accounts and clones than anybody else, including people that work directly for them.
As far as I know. Yeah, about 300
Crazy.
of them. I mean, they do say I probably know the product better than they do because I'm
Yeah.
actually dealing with the customers. I'm building strategies and talking, and doing this thing
Yes.
every day and my team. So the cool thing with this type of cloning is it's dynamic. It's completely unique. It's on the fly. Imagining, there's your knowledge base. So there's like layers. If you think you put all of your IP, all the text, audio, video that you want it to know in its digital mind or its brain, and someone has the ability to text or voice chat, soon to be video, and it's creating a customized experience for each person based on whatever they're saying. Maybe it's their business, their struggles, whatever they're talking about. The more that the person shares about themselves, it's going to kind of like, it's literally emulating the way we would talk to someone. That's the whole
Yeah.
idea. And it's not hallucinating. It's not training outside models like OpenAI, Anthrop. It's not learning from you. So your data is secure, unlike Chat GPT and all these other ones. So that's another thing is like, hey, do you want to share your IP with the world? Well, it's kind of
Yes.
going everywhere. So this way you own it completely. It's not going out to find answers. It's like sourcing things from your material. So like for you, for instance, I think you have something like, I don't know, 10 million words or more in there, maybe more now, and it's trained on just Krista's stuff. Whereas
Yeah.
mine, yeah, I've all my podcasts, all my blogs, all my videos. It's something like 15 million words. And that might even be too much because the point's not to just stack everything in there, but stack the right stuff in there so it knows
Yeah.
about you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool too. So I'll give you an example of what happened. I told you this. So I had a 2 day event, and these are all my students that come in and they fly from across the country, and then I have a fulfillment event where we just teach them more of what they already are learning and new skill sets and things like that. So
Cool.
it was day 2, end of the day, and I was teaching this framework on, how when you're creating content, you want to solve a problem, but the best kind of content is to solve a problem that also creates a new problem, right? And
Yes.
that's how you get people to continue to want to watch and to learn more, and you keep them kind of interested, engaged. And
Yeah.
it was like, cool, can you give us some examples? And I was like, honestly, I'm tired right now. I can't. So they brought up my mind clone,
Yeah.
and we asked it the question, and it literally like repeated back and sped back everything I had just trained upon from the previous 2 days. It brought up examples and things, and people were like, oh my goodness.
It said like word for word
Oh
phrases,
yeah,
right?
like word for word things I had said, and it was just so funny, And so
So good.
it was so good, and it's in my voice, so it sounds like me. They can either talk with me, and it's
Mhm.
got the intonation. Like I took it to we had a family vacation recently, and I showed my mom and dad,
Oh wow.
and they were like, "This is crazy! It sounds just like you." And my husband's like, "Babe, it even has your intonations and your fast talking and your
Yeah.
excitement, and like it was all of it." So
Cool.
it's really really cool. It's like
I'm so
having
happy. Yeah.
your Krista in your pocket.
It is, and that's the
Yeah.
idea. So that's where it truly can help you scale outside of whatever you're doing for whatever use case, and we can talk about those. But yeah, I'm happy that I mean, we literally got yours spun up probably faster than most.
Yeah.
1 week, I think it was, from the
I
time
know.
you threw your credit card at me
You guys
to
did so good.
live on stage. Yeah, yeah,
So then talk about like scaling personal brands with AI. So
yeah.
how do AI clones multiply the impact that you can have, and also free up time so you can have, for higher level things, even more personal time?
Hmm.
Explain how that can do that.
For sure. And that's why I like it the most. That's why I even went there to the platform. But just think about, everybody has a bottleneck or a way that they want to expand time or maybe make yourself more accessible to the world. public facing, it could be client facing, it could be team facing. Even you can have a personal use case where you're just talking to yourself.
Uh,
I almost use it more for that than anything, to be honest.
do
And like
you?
it's helping me write a book right now. Like all these things. I mean, almost endless. So the idea is figure out, I always think start with the strategy. So like what's the piece that's just like burning in your mind? I wish I had more time to do this, or I want to help people more in this way. So I'll just break it down. Like public facing, it could be lead gen focus. So through the course of, let's say it's on your website publicly, when someone's chatting through it, it could be trained on just a set of content that's public facing content, not all of your proprietary stuff that's maybe client facing. And you can actually get someone to opt in. So email opt in, there's SMS as well for some folks. And then basically through that conversation, you literally can walk them through to the next step. So
Mm.
I think of it kind of like as a digital marketer, I'm always thinking, what's the next action? So, what's the journey that we get to create with people as they're talking? It's a conversational journey. So,
Yeah.
that's the front facing. It's like one of the most common use cases, of course. The most common is to, if you have existing clients or members in a protected, members area or wherever, you could share a private version just to them. So then it's like an always on companion to whatever you're teaching already or providing as value. And that could be, the 24/7 Krista companion that's embedded somewhere privately, or it could be in an app. It could be shared with people personally. And then that's really the big game changer, because it helps team and you, like the person, free up so much time. I have a ton of case studies on that, immediate time saving. Uh,
Yeah.
it gives a personalized experience to your clients, so it actually learns about the person through the course of their conversation. So it's literally like it's like having Krista 24/7 in your pocket now, to your business whenever you want, text, voice, any language as well. Well, 50 languages, but that covers most of languages.
Yeah. Well, let me explain this. Okay. So I want to make sure people really get this. What he's saying is when it has a conversation with somebody, right? It remembers the previous conversation that you had.
Yep.
It can send an email nudging somebody about if it hasn't talked to them in a while, or like for example, if I said, oh, I want to do X, Y, and Z, it will say, hey, how are you doing with XYZ? It can text message somebody about it. So you can send a
Yep.
text message to them. So then that, what does that do? That helps nurture leads, nurture your clients. It keeps them engaged, keeps them on track, keeps them in your ecosystem so they don't get lost or forgotten. So
Yes.
that is amazing.
It's huge.
Huge. Like, I'll tell you what one of my students said after meeting. I want you. I haven't even told you this one yet, but I got a text message from one of my students, and he gave me one again today. I want to read it because it was just like
Yeah.
people are
That's
so
great.
appreciative of it. He says this. He says, I love this AI Krista clone. I can get all kinds of questions answered in a split second without having to email support, which also lessens the workload on your team. It helps me better understand parts of the program that might have escaped me before. I love having these answers at my fingertips. No longer do I have to wait for my answer from support, and the answer is the answer your clone gives are spot on. This is the glue that brings the entire program together. Absolute best thing you've implemented into your program. Like he said, suggestion, I would ask all your students to first attempt to get the answers from your AI twin before emailing support. We'll save you a ton of time for you and your team. I love this. It's like having four VAs in one. Thank you, pure genius. That was what one of my students,
Wow.
Darren texted me. Yeah, just
Darren,
like
you
that.
rock.
Yeah, Darren did. And I was like, it's so true. So now I've given it my whole team access to it. I'm like, hey, before you ask a question, I want you to ask my AI twin first, and
Mhm.
then you can ask a question, right? Or
Yes.
ask a question and say, hey, this is what Krista said via her AI clone. And
Yeah.
now we're going to be updating, like, this is what I want to help with you actually with, is we're going to be taking all of our trainings we have in our programs and like where they're at in the program and uploading that in there so it can say, hey, I can't find this. Where is that? And what about this? And like it
Mhm.
can interact with it that way. So it can ask like frequently asked questions. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so many things. And then I'm writing a book, and we're
Yep.
going to be uploading the book in there, and then just making a specific AI twin just for the book. So it walks them through the book. They can answer questions in the book and it kind of can
Mm,
guide them through the book.
got it. I love it.
Isn't
That's
that cool?
We'll chat more on breaking that, making it work. But yeah, I
Okay.
mean, like you brought up the book, so I forget if we're recording or not. But I am writing a book, but I'm co-writing it with my Delphi right now. It's going to be called You Scaled, and it's the concept of this scaling yourself. Like entrepreneur, CEOs, doesn't really matter. There's tons of ways, and this concept is so new. That's why it's like, all right, let's just talk about the concept and break open some minds a little bit, because usually there's like this aha moment with everyone.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter if it's the celebrities we built, like 'cause we built one for Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's people like Gary Brecka and all these other big name folks, authors, but there's also folks that are, there's a lot of realtors as well. And there's other folks that don't have a lot of content. And everyone, there's a moment where they just have that aha moment where they're like, whoa, hold on, I could do that. And I don't have to answer that email anymore. All right. This new form of media now exists where through conversation, you're literally engaging with the most active prospects or customers. They might stick around longer, refer you, whatever it is. Your churn can go down if that's your kind of business subscription. So, or your team. Yeah, your team now doesn't have to go to you for everything. They can go to
Yeah.
this, your clone first. So
Yeah.
so many ways. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, and I have to say, it is spot on. Okay, so when you say you have these AI, you've had these, you know, Gary Brick and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you've got Cody Sanchez, you've got some really great
Yeah. Yeah.
people on there. What? Tell me some of the things that where they were like. Do you remember any of those aha moments of things that it did that they were, because those are some pretty smart people. So if they
Yeah.
were
Very smart.
impressed, yeah,
Yeah, and I'll tell the relationship that like I have with the platform Delphi too, because I want to make that super clear and like how it's all structured. But because we work with the platform called Delphi AI, I was the very first user almost 3 years ago. Basically, over time, I started building these things out. So we actually are their build team. So if you go to Delphi and if you basically want to have the hands-on support, that's actually our team. We're also able to do it separately, and that's how we met, at Joe Stolte's event. So,
so let
um,
me just, I want to make that more clear, okay?
sure,
So
please.
basically, Delphi charges $25,000 to do what Joe does, and Joe actually is the one that Delphi pays to build it for you, okay?
Yeah, and there's some other tiers, but yeah, that's
Yes.
one of the tiers. There's some lower ones as well,
Yeah.
but either way, yeah,
But
we're that team.
Joe actually has an agreement with Delphi where you can go directly to Joe. It's perfectly ethical and legal. They support it because they want to support Joe, where Joe will do it for like way less money and give you way more support and also work with you on the strategy behind it. And that is what I did. I met Joe that way and I hired Joe. I bought his biggest package to be able to help me build my Delphi, come up with the strategy, figure it out. So if you were
Yeah.
interested in this, you would want to go directly to Joe Fieri because he's the one that can actually do it better than if you went directly to Delphi and you'd be paying a lot more.
I mean, basically, Delphi obviously benefits either way because people are going to use the platform, and that's what's beautiful is they're out of San Francisco. They have a bunch of engineers, and they literally are working faster than any single person can try to do to maybe code your own up. Like that's not
Yeah.
what we're doing. We're not the engineers. We are the strategists, the marketers, the hands-on people that know the product really well. And yeah, we'll literally focus in on whatever use case that you want as a business owner.
And I have to say, I have been so impressed with your customer service. Like, I mean that too when I say that.
Thank
Like,
you.
I think we're kind of hard to impress because we are like you, and so
You're
we've been
fast.
super super impressed with how fast you are, the strategy, all of that behind it.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
So
Thank
I
you. I
will
appreciate
definitely give you some high 5 stars from that. In fact, I've already given you a referral. I mean, a 5 star video review. Okay,
Yeah,
so let's think of like some practical use cases for AI clones, like real world
for sure.
examples, customer service support, obviously, content
Yeah.
creation, lead generation, sales. Like give us some examples of that.
So let's start with the lead generation, which is the public facing clone. Um, so let's imagine you have a public facing, I kind of talked about, like that's that type of content. You're not sharing everything into the world, but maybe it's YouTube videos, podcasts, or, trainings you might have done publicly and you want it to know. So you would train the brain on that. And that can live on your website. It could be, it could be on the homepage. It could be a standalone page, kind of like what you've done as well. It could be Oh my gosh, you could put it in your newsletters, your email newsletters. You could put it in your email signature, where any email you're sending, just imagine someone can actually chat with you further and follow up without having to bug you more. But
Oh,
the point's my,
wow.
I put it also in the back of my Calendly. So when someone books or even before and say like, hey, before you chat, go chat with my Delphi. And I've done that so many times where people come prepared now with they've already chatted with the Delphi for maybe a couple hours in some cases, which has
Oh,
happened.
wow.
And they come, they're like, oh, well, that just saved me a ton of time. So we just cut right to it on the call. That's
That's
like,
so good.
it's so cool. Social media, you can post it out there publicly that way, Linktree, wherever it is. Use it as a call to action in your content. I put it on my podcast, YouTube, everywhere. Description. I mean, it becomes the main place to send people because they want to talk
Hmm.
with you. That's the whole thing. So it's engaging. Yeah,
So let me selfishly ask you a question, okay? Because
sure.
we're doing this, but I don't know if we're doing it exactly right, and I want to get your opinion on it. So I have a 3-day event every month. We just had it yesterday,
Cool.
I want to give people access to the talk with Krista, the whole thing. Like they get
Mhm.
access to everything during the actual event, but then I want to be able to take it away after the
Mhm.
event. So, and I know you can tag people like 3-day event. I feel like that's the best way to do it instead of just right now we're kind of building a separate thing for
Right.
it. But I'm like, what's the difference? Just give them everything, but then take it away.
Everybody's different. Like, so like you're the only one that's done that, but I think it's a powerful strategy. Like some other people will use it for like a multi-day challenge, where they have someone go through it and they have alerts because you can integrate this to your CRM and all that. So there might be alerts that send people back to the conversation for a period of time. That's another way to do it. Uh, Honestly, everybody has different ideas.
But
That's
I
what
can
it's
do
like.
that though, right? Like, there's an easy way just to say, okay, here's a spreadsheet of everybody that joined up. They joined
Mm.
under XYZ. Just remove them all.
Yeah, and I believe we've done that already, right?
Have
On
we?
the maybe we didn't do the removal process, but that's possible, totally.
Okay,
It
okay.
takes more effort. It's not like it's not made specifically to do that, but that's why working with us, we know we know the strategies or the workarounds.
About how to do it. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
because
good, good, good.
like something to think about is if people are familiar with CRMs, like you have Go High Level or HubSpot or even Mailchimp or whatever it might be. Um, it's gonna bring people into there like a CRM. It's a database of people. There's profiles, so you do have the ability to give them access to portions of your digital mind,
Mm-hmm.
and you can remove people if you want. You can tag them. Yeah, so that's why you can kind of modulate and get all creative with this whole time.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe just uploading just the slides from that event, right?
As long as it reads, so Delphi as a platform, it reads text, audio, video, and as long as your slides are readable, from an AI, basically it's going to look at those and transcribe. As long as they can
Yeah,
read it,
yeah. Okay,
there's so many ways to put the content in there, but yeah, it's doable for sure.
okay, okay. Good, good, good. Okay, so now talk about monetization,
Hmm.
like having utilizing this to because that's one of the biggest questions right now. Number one is how to
Right.
make money with AI. That's so
Yep.
I went to a mastermind, Alex Hormozi's top
Cool.
affiliate 50, and somebody has a 9 million person AI uh, Facebook group. It's the largest
Wow.
Facebook group with AI. And he says the number one question that he's getting right now is how to make money with AI. The number one question I'm seeing right now from real estate agents is how do I create a side hustle with AI? So knowing those
Okay.
two things,
Yep.
how would you say people could monetize?
So there's two ways. I would say, and the most common use case is to think about how do we serve our clients more. The people that are
Hmm.
already paying us. It's the easiest
Like
way
I'm
to.
doing.
Yeah, exactly. Now, that's where most people start. So I would say the first thing is to create a companion to your folks, the people that are already paying you. It could be bonused in, and that creates a more sticky kind of environment. Like they're not going to leave you if they feel like they now have a companion that knows, likes, and trusts them basically through AI. And also they're supported by you and your team. So it's enhancing the stuff you're already doing really well. We've seen support go down, like you were saying, like your team's load, your load, churn goes down as well. Satisfaction goes up because you get them on board, especially in the early days. They want to be a beta user. They know that it's maybe early, so they're gonna They're going to try to break it. They're going to give you ways to make it better and tell other people about it. I've seen that across the board. And like Darren's comment there, I've seen that so many times from other clients, and
Yeah.
it's so cool.
It's so funny. My dad, I was showing my, he was like, you know what you could do? He's like, if you owned a business and somebody went to the business and it was closed, you could like have it like, hello, how are you, Joe? And you could
Hmm.
have it talk to them. And I was
Yeah,
like, that is a great idea. Like if you have
for
like a
sure.
brick and mortar even, and somehow you have
Yeah.
it where they could access it there.
Yeah, you can. And people do that. So that would be on like the website. You can have a little chat bubble thing that pops up too, where you could put it on every page of your site. So yeah, if you want people to be talked with, there's an option. As long as it's linked and made it easy.
Yeah.
So the second way for clients, I would say, is you can sell it independently like its own offer. So let's say you start with your existing community. That's what I would suggest, is prove it out, make sure people love it. They kind of break it and they help you make it better, because there's an optimization process. Again, we help with that, but you can do it yourself too. And sometimes people break it out as a standalone offer. So then it becomes, hey, you want to just have Krista AI as its own product and service offering. You could do that. That could be a recurring product. It could be priced at whatever you want. I mean, when it's standing alone, I would say it's probably a lower price product. There's If you go to Delphi, there's actually case studies. One of their top clients, his name is Matthew Hussey. He's in the dating niche space. And he has a full on funnel that is just to sell the Delphi. And I want to say it's like $40 a month, but there's like a trial and you can do that whole kind of thing. But so it could be this funnel that leads to a paid version of your Delphi. And it
Yeah.
turns into now a recurring product that, if you imagine, there's not much support to that because you've already dialed it in with your community. You're almost like layering on a whole, a new revenue stream without extra work. I mean, I'm not saying there's no work, but it's a new kind of media that you're literally bringing people into and selling. So
Yeah. So let me ask you a question then.
hmm,
Do you think, let's talk about like people will say, my mom said this. She goes, well, then why do people need you? If they have why are they going to hire you to coach them if they have your mind clone? So,
yeah.
what is your comeback to that?
I feel like they're going to want you more because you're taking them, you're proving out who's most engaged in your community, either if it's on the prospect side or on the client side. You have the data and you can have visibility of seeing like how often people are using your clone. So those are the folks, typically you can even ping them and say, hey, you're super active, maybe you reward them and get in front of them as a person. And then that would be a way to maybe upsell them or work with them a little closer. Genuinely, I don't think this is going to enhance human touch more than ever, because it frees your time up to work with the folks who are wanting more of you, because that's why they're even using your Delphi. But at the same time, it's still the human element. You're coming up with more creative things, like new stuff all the time. So
Yeah.
the human Krista is likely going to present that at a 3-day event, every month. So people are going to want to be in the room with you,
Yeah.
or virtually, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Uh, I see AI as enhancing humans, even though like a lot of people go to, I just want to automate and ghost off into somewhere else. And it's like, I don't think that's the best practice, like I think it's a more of a supplementation of what we're already
Of
doing really well.
of what you're doing. And then one more question, just that's kind
Yeah,
of close to this. So what do you think about, I mean, what would the harm be if you just give it your whole brain? I mean, really, it's like people still kind of need help. So
totally.
you can get everything on Google right now. You can get everything on YouTube. You can literally, but
Hmm.
you still that you need help with the accountability, the support, the implementation, and all that. So what do you
Yeah.
think about actually just giving somebody full access to your entire brain?
I do that. So I do that with my podcast. It's trained on all the stuff, even previous courses I've put out there, and I'm not selling at the moment. But the way that I monetize my business is not to sell more trainings and stuff like that. But at the same time, you can gate your public facing version of you and maybe say, hey, they can use it for 10 messages a month or 30 minutes of audio per month. And like, you can like gate time or usage access and give them all the content if you want to. Like, so people have done that. If you just want to be forward with your content and know like, hey, I'm going to help people. And then through this, I'm engaging with the most engage people. And I know they're going to become a lead and probably upsell into whatever offer comes next. Maybe they just want to, I mean, there's so many ways. It's whatever the conversion flow, whatever you're working
Yeah.
towards. I see it as like this new media is going to bring the best people to you to the forefront. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's done that for me. And like I said, so
That's
now
cool.
my students are using it. They are loving it. Like I just trained them on how to do a video sales letter, and your
Yeah.
team helped me like build it in. So
Did that work? Did that?
yeah, yeah, it worked. Yeah. And they were like,
Beautiful.
I just used Krista's, I used Krista's AI clone, and it walked me through the whole process. And then it even, gave exact, like it sounded just like what she would tell me to do, So
Yeah.
it's
So what?
making everything easier.
Yeah. And so and I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Like, because you've been pushing the limits, which is perfect. That's what I wanted. And the beautiful thing is, it's almost unlimited of use cases. Sometimes, like siloing the content, you might be a little bit more limited on that side. But as long as the prompting at the top of it, if you imagine like the VSL thing,
Yeah.
essentially there was a prompt that you gave people, or a series of prompts. And if they ask it correctly, just like ChatGPT, if you have a good prompt that's dialed in, it's going to perform the action because it knows the data. All we're doing is giving it instructions that's specific to the framework, like the VSL framework, for instance. And it'll focus in on that. Whereas like it might not talk about the other stuff that's in your mind.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like there's just so many avenues you can take it down, and
That what you could do. Yeah.
hopefully it
Oh.
makes sense to everyone listening or watching. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's because I've been using it, so I'm seeing just how crazy it is. And
Hmm.
and I give my students a lot of stuff. Like I'm always, and they are just like, this is so cool. They literally
Yeah.
say it's like having Krista in my pocket, right? And
That's perfect.
they're
Yeah.
paying for coaching because they want access to, and I keep explaining to them, listen, guys, you have to understand that what makes this so powerful is that when you are utilizing language learning models, you're getting all this stuff and it's throwing in things that aren't always correct, and it's inaccurate information oftentimes. And so this
Hmm.
way, you know that everything that you're asking and doing, it's for specifically from the unique mechanisms and the frameworks that we teach that help elevate what makes you so special. So it's
That's
it's
perfect.
been
Yeah.
it's been awesome. Yeah.
That, I mean, you nailed it. That's really the biggest difference, in the aha moment, when people understand that you have full control over your IP. It's protected. No one, it's not training any outside space. If you ever want to go away from the platform, it deletes it. It's not, we're not keeping it, or Delphi's not. So yeah, you have full control. And that's where it gets fun, because we map out the strategy based on the person. And this is something you could certainly go build your own, but there's a lot of
I
people
don't
that
know
come to
how.
us.
I mean, I have an AI team. I've got,
Yeah.
systems and automations people. We are using 11 labs. We're using all those. You said something earlier about like people, you can take a picture now and turn the picture into a video, right?
Right. Yeah.
But that is a pre-scripted, whereas this
Hmm.
is you literally ask it questions in real time. It remembers what you were talking about before, and it's
Yeah.
like having a conversation with you, and it's giving answers based upon your specific questions and the answers are coming from the unique proprietary intellectual property from the user, the owner.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Nailed it. That's
Yeah,
exactly it. And
yeah.
there's really nothing else I've ever seen that does that. And then it can also connect to your other apps. So your CRM, you can push things out to, if you really wanted to get techie, or if you had some techie folks in your team, go push it to like Zapier or Make or N8N, where it can now automate things to happen based on the conversations in Delphi. If that makes sense. So you can like trigger off, reminders. You can go schedule. This is where it gets a little technical, but just
But
imagine.
I'm going to want to learn about this more because we're using N8N and all those workflows. And you and I
Good.
were just talking about we're both were building, we were vibe coding over
Yeah.
the weekend. You built an app, I built an app this
Yep.
weekend.
Yep.
So I don't think it's not hard for my team, but I don't
No.
understand that. Explain.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm still
Okay.
learning that part because it's so creative. Like it really
Yeah.
depends on the person. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it goes to like whatever you're trying to connect to, as long as there's new content being created, or this experience for someone with your Delphi brain, that data can be pushed to other places. So if it like, if you're trying to write email newsletters, for instance, it can maybe push that content over to where It can help you generate newsletters or custom messages that go out to people. Let's, if you have a CRM that like go high level, for instance, you can send out all sorts of messages and maybe custom records about people that are, maybe an alert sets up and it's tagging people differently. There's
It's
nudging. I mean,
getting more, it's getting more complicated in a good way.
yeah, and I don't want to go all
We want to
complicated.
get into, yeah, we're
Yeah,
getting too geeky
for
here.
sure,
Okay, okay,
for sure.
yeah, okay. Awesome. I mean, obviously, everyone knows they're dealing with my AI clone. So we're very transparent that this really isn't me. It's my AI clone. And
Good.
they don't mind at all. They're loving it. They're loving
Uh-huh.
it. So
Uh-huh.
just want to get that out there. It's not like we're trying to hide and say we're talking to Krista or Joe live, right?
Yeah,
It's my
ethically, that's the way to do it. Like that,
yes,
I'm a big fan of that for sure.
yeah.
And the cool, and just to double tap on that, is Delphi clones the person. It's always a real person. It's you. It's not a fictitious person, and it's not even a brand. It's trust. Like it's all about to emulate the person and the way they think to connect people to people. Like that's the whole concept here.
Yeah. I haven't had any weird things, although it says when it says lead, it calls it. It says it wrong. I gotta change that.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
you
wrong.
can, yeah, you can always change pronunciation of words, names, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, tell everybody about your podcast. I want like you're such
Yeah.
a marketing genius. You're like super OG goat marketer. I mean, sales marketing. Like I love that about you, and that's personally why I wanted to go directly through you and
Mm,
not Delphi because I know you have the marketing brain. So you look at a business and you can dissect different ways you could use it that not the most people wouldn't think about. And so I
hmm
love the masterminding with you on that. So that was the reason I went to you. So
yeah.
where's your podcast?
hmm
How can they get in touch with you, like to learn more? And then
Thank you.
before we end, I just want to talk to you really quickly about how we had talked about in the future possibly creating an app somehow in a
Yeah.
more for real estate agents to use.
Yes.
Because
All
I was
right.
saying, like, imagine when you meet with your seller and you say, "Oh, by the way, I have my own mind clone," and then you upload the contract in there so it has all the dates specific to
Mm.
that specific, one. I don't know.
Yep. I follow it. So I'll start with the podcast. Yeah, I've had that show for what since 2017. I always have to look over there. I did have a co-host for a while. I am the host now. I probably should update that bio that I gave
Yeah.
you. But the yeah, it's all about basically showing entrepreneurs. I love to talk about entrepreneurs, marketing, how to enhance what you're already doing and live a good life. Like the point's not to work your butt off and never see the light of day or your family. I've got two little ones and a wife and dogs, and I live in San Diego. I want to go outside and have fun. So
Yeah.
music, all that fun stuff. So that's what I talk about. And I bring in people that are just doing it their way. Some AIs in there, but I like to talk about principles, like people, like what really makes them tick. And then how do you do more in life that you like? So
Yeah.
hustle and flowchart is what it's called. Hustleandflowchart.com will get you to all the places. It's on Spotify, Apple, all YouTube.
Hustleandflowchart.com.
Yes.
Hustleandflowchart.com.
Hustle and
Yes.
flowchart. Yeah, that's it. So the what I'm doing here with the cloning. So we talked about Delphi, that's the platform. My company is called AI Build Team.ai. That'll get you there. You can actually experience my clone, which I highly recommend it's at aibuildteam.ai/Joe. And that'll get you right there. It's on the page. You'll see it embedded. And if you have follow-up questions here, there's even a little button that says, I want to learn more about clones. Click that and
Yeah. And
we'll
then
start
listen
chatting.
to it because it sounds just like him. So you'll see how much
Yes, yeah.
how alike Joe it actually sounds,
Right.
which is awesome.
I'm always improving. That's almost like it's like the guinea pig account. It's funny, like because sometimes I'm tweaking the voice or doing things. So because again, I kind of use it to learn more about Delphi and push it. So it might be changing. When you go there, it might be a little slightly different. That's all right.
Yeah. It's always getting better. The better
It,
enhanced version. And
that's
if
right.
Joe Fieri.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The new
you're
name.
locking my new name into my own brain.
I am. We
Same
got
name, but yeah.
I was like, Joe,
Uh
how do I say your last name? Because everyone always they call me Krista Mashore. It's Krista Mashore, right? So I always
huh.
ask, and I'm like, Joe Fier, and you're like, well, he's like, I want to be like Fiere, like
Oh,
like
Fier. You're adding an
Fier,
extra e on the end.
Like more
You
like
like it, right?
I like it. I do. I like it.
Okay,
I like
cool.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then to what was the last bit? Oh yeah, the bit about realtors,
Yes.
and I think we're fleshing this out in real time, and I think there's definitely something there. So I know it's possible to create um, more or less a clone. I don't want to call it templatized because it's not, but
Yeah.
something that can, yeah, load up all the docs. I mean, you know this more than me, but like there's probably a set of what relegations, contracts, stuff that your clients are gonna have questions about, right? When
Yes.
buying a home. Or maybe it's the team, maybe it's not even the client, it could be the team that you're working with, you know, the broker, yeah, the whole whatever, all that stuff could be loaded in, where it's more or less the foundation, and then you layer it with personalized of like who the person is, so it's like Jim, Jane, whoever, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I could, in putting that into on a website, maybe even an app, these are things that we're all working on. It's still
Yes.
fresh and early, but
I'm
hey, if
so
there's
glad I got in early because you've been so great and open to help with so many things. Like I just can't say enough
it's
about it.
super early. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know you mean it because I saw it and you took action. I love working with you, Krista, because you and your team are rock stars. It's serious. Yeah.
Ah, thanks. Yeah. I was like
Yeah.
throwing my credit card at Joe, literally throwing it at him before I even knew the offer.
What you did is, yeah, you threw it at me. I put it, I think I was talking with like three other people, and you didn't, I just had your credit card in front of me for like, I think 45 minutes until we actually, I was like, what do I do with this thing?
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, charge it, charge it, charge
Oh
it.
my, you're hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, shoot, what was I gonna say? I'm getting excited. Yeah, I think this is, oh, what I was gonna say is everyone's early. So all the way from like the celebrity types or these big thought leaders we're working with to us here, you know, just someone that doesn't have a ton of content. I'm not saying, I hope there's a bunch of thought leaders listening too, but everyone's on this early stage where they don't understand what they're getting into until they actually get in there, and then we start talking it through because it's such a blue ocean. It's early.
Yeah.
Everyone's early, and we're just creating this as we go. So
You want to know how I thought about it would be so cool?
what was
And
that?
this is like think about someone that, maybe is dying
Hmm.
and they want to create their mind clone to leave to their family and put in all of their, their wisdom and their greatness and their recipes and all the
Hmm.
things that make them them. And so that like imagine, you're a
I'm
parent
doing
and
that
you're,
right now.
huh?
I'm
Are,
doing that right now with a client that I just met in person. I won't name his name, but he's a very prominent name in sports, a coach, but he's been a professional sports, and he's got disease, and there's a couple. He feels like he's at his very end. I'll just say that.
yeah.
And I met with him in person here in San Diego just 2 days ago, eye to eye, and he has a timeline, and he wants to package up all of his IP. I'm talking like 20 books, all these trainings, all these things, and he wants to basically immortalize himself. He's like,
Yeah.
no one's ever going to get rid of me now. I'm like, let's do it. And it was crazy. It felt like I was being interviewed to, create this legacy version of him, which I
Mhm.
think I was. And I walked away from it like, holy moly, like
Yeah. Oh, I
that's
know. If
kind of a
I was
responsibility.
But that's what I would wanna do with I was thinking if I was passing, I would wanna leave, like, just my
Mhm.
advice and wisdom and love to my grandkids,
Totally. Yeah.
and theirs, and it's not an ego thing, it's like, "Oh my gosh, I wanna be able to be a part of their life in some way."
And that's why the platform, so the co-founder Dara Lejavardian, he's one of the co-founders. That's why he actually made it. It was his grandfather was a really prominent business owner, and he had a book, so he was able to clone his book, but he was never able to chat with his grandfather like about this stuff.
Oh,
And that's
yeah.
where it hit him. He's like, wow, this is bringing literally this knowledge to life. And at Delphi, I definitely recommend, if they're alive, it's way easier. If it's after the fact, family gets a little weird. You get a lot of, I think there's even a celebrity right now, blanking on the name, saying how they want to clone their spouse. Suzanne Summers' husband, actually, I think is what it is. It's literally like in the
Oh,
news
does
right now.
he? Wow.
But like, there's debates about that because she's not around anymore. So just think about that. Like, there's that dynamic, which makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's new reality. I'm telling you, Krista, it's
It
crazy.
is, it is. Well, this has been awesome, and I hope
Yeah,
you guys are just as fired up as I am. And just to say, I don't believe AI is replacing anybody. I think it replaces people that aren't going to, adapt it and use it to enhance their life, their business, and all that. So it's I really
Yeah,
just think and it's not hard or scary. Anybody can do it now. It's so easy.
yeah.
It's getting easier and easier all the time. It just makes my life so much better. But one more time, Joe, before we go, tell them how they can get in touch with you. And then I got to ask you one more question.
Of course. So aibuildteam.ai/Joe. Chat with me. You will opt in. So actually what's coming is I have a book called You Scaled coming up soon. Once that's published, hopefully in a couple weeks, you'll get access to that because you'll be on the list. I'll let you know. It'll be free. And that way you can read a little bit more about this concept. And you can find me on the website there too, aibuildteam.ai. It's pretty easy to get
And
me.
your podcast.
Hustleandflowchart.com.
Hustleandflowchart.com. All right. And I end every podcast like this. If there's one piece of advice, whether business, personal, love, it's, philanthropy, religion, whatever it might be, what would the one piece of advice you'd give our listeners?
Communicate freely and authentically. Like
Ooh.
that's yeah, I think that's just going to get more important all the time. I feel like that's how you show love to others. That's why I have my podcast and why I like to do these too. And
Yeah.
like I have 2 little daughters and a wife, and that communication I feel like just bonds everything. So
Oh,
everyone,
so true. Even tough conversations too. It's even important to communicate tough conversations.
it's even better to work through that because
Yes.
then it's even better on the outcome side. So
Yeah.
yeah, just
Yeah.
learn to just do that and don't stop and don't let AI make you lazy or replace communication, because I think that's a trap, and yeah.
Honey, I'm tired. Just talk to my AI.
Well, there is, it's funny. I'll end on this. Is my buddy created a version for his wife to talk with, and it was more of a gimmick. He was just showing
Yeah,
it
yeah,
off,
yeah.
but he was like, and it's like password protected, where she has to say her correct name or it won't actually continue the conversation. So if it got out, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like the perfect husband version of him, and
Ah, I love it. That's
it's
so
pretty
cute.
awesome.
Does she
Yeah.
use it?
She laughed and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
but it was more gimmicky, but I'm like, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Super funny, super funny. Well,
Yeah.
Joe, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. You were amazing, and thank you for just how much you've helped me with my AI mind clone. And everyone, I hope you are just as fired up as I am. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching my video. You can learn more about how to be a successful real estate professional by watching other videos that I have. And be sure to subscribe to my channel. And as always, make it a great home selling and buying day.